Good evening. We'd like to welcome you to the August 9th Board of Selectmen, or Select Board meeting, and I'd like to call this meeting to order. Yep. If everybody could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Is anybody here for public comment? No? Then our first item tonight is the Master Plan Implementation Committee quarterly meeting, quarterly report with Stan Lampert.
So, where do I, the table, is that what we're
The
doing?
table is yours.
No podium.
Anywhere you want to go.
Yeah. It seems like a lifetime ago that I saw everyone. I mean, you know, it's not, Zoom is not the same. I don't care what they say. So this is much more like it. I appreciate it, Chair Bates.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Ms. Burzlaff and you, our town manager, for getting me at the top of the agenda. So thank you very much. I really appreciate that a lot. Let me just quickly run over what we've done in the recent past, most of which you know about. I think the biggest activity that we got involved with this past quarter was we developed a framework to be able to evaluate things, projects and activities that weren't originally in the master plan. We felt that was sort of something we needed to do as a committee so that the town wouldn't think that we were just ignoring or overlooking those. We have no intent to in any way modify the plan itself with any of those activities. The plan is sort of what the plan is, and we're going to continue to do everything we can to assist in its execution. But we felt it was important to look at other projects, other activities going on, and what their impact on the plan and the activities of the plan might be. And so the first significant one was really to take a look at the proposed moratorium, building moratorium, and what its impact might have been on activities in the plan, various tasks. In the plan, as you may or may not recall, there are, let's call them 103 activities. They're called strategies in the plan, but they're really actions. And so there's a lot to go through. They're in a number of different areas, and so, you know, to evaluate those it takes some time. But the committee went through it, made an evaluation, and you heard at the annual town meeting what the results of that evaluation were. The committee felt like there would be a relative negative impact on a number of activities in the plan if there were to be a 2-year moratorium. So that was the conclusion of the committee. Now, you know, again, the committee would never would never anticipate taking a position on any of these issues, you know, like should Royal Crest be done or not. It's for someone else to decide, not for the committee. So we feel like that's been a useful addition to the work that we started now a year ago. And we're going to try to use that for other projects. We are in the process of, we're just in the process of applying that to the framework, to the downtown improvement plan, just to see, you know, what that looks like in terms of the master plan itself. And of course, there are a number of downtown improvement tasks in the master plan already. So obviously, it's got a relative positive spin on it. But there could be other projects that we want to do the same thing with the framework, the evaluation, inclusionary zoning, the 114 activity. So even the 125 at some point down the road. So it could be any of these projects just to look at their impact, their potential influence on or impact to the master plan. So that's what we've been doing. At the same time, this coming quarter, we're going to continue to take more individual tasks, strategies out of the plan and start to try to help people, if we can, work those strategies. So that's my report. Any questions? Can I help with anything?
Any questions?
Are we good?
No?
I'd add one thing, which is it was interesting to see the framework come about, and hopefully it's something that can be applied. But this is also an opportunity, even though there's a committee for this, for the residents of this town to have feedback and to contribute to it. So even though there's a master plan implementation committee which works on the behalf of the citizenry of North Andover, it's really about all of us as citizens. So I really encourage folks that have interests in how our community develops and grows, or just even how we evaluate that to participate and get involved.
Well, and sort of 1 minute on that. The committee was really pretty hesitant to really start to think about any of these projects, like Royal Crest. It's like, oh no, we don't want to do that. That's a can of worms. Let's not go there. And I think the framework was sort of almost spontaneous and organic. I mean, we just sort of figured out that might be a way to go about looking at projects without having to take a position or do anything about that. So I think that worked out to be a very useful addition to some of the things we'd been thinking about. So we hope it helps people think about, what the impacts of some of the things that are going on in North Andover are on things we've already said are important to us in the master plan. So I think that's our intent, and we're going to keep it up and keep letting you all know. So there you go.
I think what the both of you said, it's sort of a living document, and it can be subject to change because of some just outside influence or something unexpected that we need to. So I think you're right in saying it's a guide. It's not an exact map that we must follow that road.
Absolutely.
And that's where the people of North Andover come in.
Yeah,
To
and
say that sounded good back a couple years ago, but perhaps we should take a different course or modify it or temper it or something like that. So
Well,
I appreciate you both
Yeah,
touching upon that, because I
as
think
you know,
some people
Ms.
will think, oh, well, we have to do this. No, it's not law. It's
the law.
it's a
Yeah.
suggestion.
As we all know, oftentimes documents that have titles like master plan end up on a bookshelf and never get used at all. They checked off a box somewhere for some reason, and that was the end of it. This would like to think will have more usefulness in it over its life. And the committee has sort of signed up, not for a year, but for whatever it takes, a number of years to try to help implement this. So, we're in it for the long haul. We'll see how that goes. And give us feedback if.
I just want to comment on one more thing. Sometimes they ended on the shelf collecting dust because of budget reasons. I know you
It's
know,
all true.
Stan,
All
we've
true.
come a long, long way. I remember negative free cash and all
Yeah,
kinds of
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah,
that, and
yeah.
pass the bucket
Oh,
to
yeah,
this
yeah.
department needs stamps.
Yeah.
So that's, and I'm not joking. It was
No,
it was
it's-
bad then, but it's really good now. We've got
Yeah.
great leadership,
Yeah,
and
and money.
and
Yeah.
with that, well, that's kind of the great leadership.
Yeah.
One went to the
So,
other, right?
yeah, thank you.
So Stan, if I could, so first of all, thank you for the, when you did go through the evaluation, because I found it very helpful, when we were looking at the impacts of various items like that. So I find that helpful, to understand how that reflects towards the master plan. Second, I agree, it was never intended to be a document that was gonna sit on the shelf, and I think we always said that right from the beginning.
Right.
So thank you, and you and your team, for making sure that that doesn't happen.
Right.
The third, I guess, being the engineer in me, what is, do we have, and I know I heard what Chris said and what Rosemary said about a living document, but do we have metrics? Like, how many strategies have we actually achieved or are achieving, and do we have like some kind of a metric where we're gonna?
That's, okay, so now you're talking about what one of the real challenges for the committee has been, which is, how does it help? What does implementation mean? And how do we do that? How do we help influence it? Because the committee itself does no work. I mean, it doesn't work, any of the strategies.
Right.
Somebody else is doing that. So we're in the situation where we have, for example, we have strategies, and somebody wrote an organization to that strategy. It's not clear the organization even knows that they're responsible for that. So we're trying to figure out, how do you sort of get these things moving
Right.
where there's a bunch of loose ends, you know, how do you do that? And that's one of the challenges. Second, the other end of the spectrum are strategies where people know exactly what they're doing and they don't need any help from us. You know, like, you know, things that would be in like the DPW's court, for example. They're good, they know what they're doing. So we're just trying to figure out how, on a case-by-case basis, how do we help? You know, what can we do to be helpful and help get the process moving? And, you know, in some cases, just not get involved. I mean, just stand aside and let the process work itself out. We are trying to constantly do an inventory of the strategies to see how many are, you know, close to, some are complete, or some were completed, you know, for whatever reason. We're trying to keep that inventory going to see, you know, what's been essentially finished. And things that are substantially down the road. A lot of progress has been made on them. There's a lot of things like that that we don't want to get too involved in, because they're okay, right?
Yeah, that would be interesting to see that at some point. I know it's not.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Just to see
Yeah.
where we are with the strategies and
Yeah,
where, you know.
yeah. That's what we're trying to do right now, so. Okay.
Thanks, Stan. Thanks for everything.
Anything else?
Thank
No,
you all
you're
for
good.
your time.
Thank you. Good to
Appreciate
see
it.
you all.
Yeah, thank you for the metrics and everything, are very helpful to us. So we'll be moving next to our update on COVID with our town manager.
Sure. So when I'm saying that everyone's on vacation, I really mean everyone, even Brian. So I am going to give the COVID update tonight. We do currently have 20 cases in town, which is down from 32 the week before, which is good news, but still not great news considering we were at 0 just a few weeks before that. Looking at the state data, which was reporting from July 18th to July 31st, we were looking at a 14-day % positivity rate of around 3%. There was 38 cases over that 2-week period. A lot of what we're seeing is family transmission. Doing like a kind of rough count today of the 20 cases that we currently have, about 70% of those cases are actually unvaccinated. So that's kind of where we are. As of Friday, 70% of North Andover had 1 dose of the vaccine and 65% were fully vaccinated, and 90% of people over 65 in North Andover were fully vaccinated. One of the things that we're currently seeing and what the data is showing is that the predominant strain is now the Delta strain. Tuesday, tomorrow, we have another meeting that will give us a little bit more information about what we're seeing regionally for cases. But based on the data from July 4th to July 17th, about 68% of the cases in Region 1, which is Connecticut, Maine, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, and Vermont, were Delta. Based on the information that we saw more closely to our region, it hovered around that 70% as well for that time period. The labs are doing something called geometric sequencing testing in order to determine which cases are Delta and which cases are not. They're focusing a lot on clusters, and that information is given directly to the state. So we're not seeing that information in Maven or in any of our databases. We're learning about it weekly. And I think the best way maybe to describe it is that it's almost like pool testing. So they'll grab a bunch of samples, they'll test those, and that's how we get our percentages back. So it's a science, but maybe not an exact science. One of the things that we got today was a little bit more guidance from the CDC, where basically what they were saying was that we are seeing breakthrough infections, but those are happening much less often than when we're seeing for infections in unvaccinated people. What they were saying was that a lot of the individuals who are infected with the Delta variant, whether vaccinated or not vaccinated, are seeing transmission. And then one thing that they did mention today as well was that a lot of the people who are vaccinated are having very mild symptoms, which means that a lot of the time they are not getting tested. So, you know, an itch in the throat, allergy symptoms you didn't have before, you know, throwing up, that kind of thing, we are advising people to go get tested even if they are vaccinated in order to not spread. And I will say that based on the data that we saw today from the state, testing is up as well, which is a great thing. That's what we want to see. So those two things are going hand in hand. People are listening. We're really excited about our vaccination numbers because if you look at Massachusetts, at the country in general, we're looking at 50% vaccinated, you know, and we're looking at 70% here. So, you know, we're heading in the right direction on that.
Anyone have any questions, comments?
I've heard, and I don't know if there's any truth to it, that some of the symptoms of what would be considered the Delta, which is kind of like cold symptoms and or mild flu, could actually be colds because we would all been wearing masks, so we don't have a built-in immunity. So there's a rise in, now that the masks are off, a rise in people getting colds. Have you heard anything along those lines?
I've heard of increased outbreaks in stomach bugs, that kind of thing, because you're right, before we were all keeping our distance and wearing our masks, and now we're seeing more people kind of out without masks on in stores, et cetera. So I think we're not only seeing this increase in COVID, but we're also seeing increase in regular sickness that we weren't seeing before. Whether that's because people were not built up an immune system, it's interesting. I went to the doctor recently, and he told me that they were seeing strange things that they hadn't seen before, like young people with shingles, weird stuff, right? But you know, and it could be because we all have spent so much time separated. But you know, what they're basically saying now is that you can have a symptomatic breakthrough even if you're vaccinated, and if you have symptoms that line up with COVID, your best bet is to go and get tested.
And what's the turnaround time on getting an appointment? Do you have any information on that? Because I have heard from people that you can't just go in and get an appointment. I mean, you can't just walk in, that now they're back to appointments.
For the vaccine or for the testing?
For the testing.
For testing, you still can go. There's a bunch of sites right in Lawrence. You can link to them right from our website. And it's pretty much same day turnaround right now, even for a PCR test, a regular test. They're not seeing the wait times that they were seeing before. Yes.
So,
Lawrence General site is still open, and La
Yes.
Fruteria in Lawrence is still open, and they're still free. They're still Stop the Spread sites. They're
Yes.
still very
It's still going.
accessible.
Yep, and they're still doing free vaccinations as well.
so if you think you have a cold or a stomach bug, you should still go get tested.
You should.
That's the long and the short of it.
Yes.
And there shouldn't be any wait, shouldn't be any cost.
Nope.
So,
It's an easy process. Doesn't hurt, I promise.
The vaccine too, there's plenty of appointments available
Yes.
for vaccine too, so.
So-
Any thought about going back to masking, mandatory? Has that been discussed?
We've been talking about it. We don't currently have state of emergency in town, so it's a little bit harder for us to create mandates. It's one thing we've been talking about doing it in town buildings. The fire department is now doing it for all of their calls. And so, you know, our fire department is dealing with a lot of sick people. And unfortunately, with the state of emergency ending, we're no longer able to tell the fire department and police department what COVID-positive houses are. So we used to be able to at least mark it in 911. So if you were responding to a COVID-positive house, you knew. We're no longer able to do that with the state of emergency ending. So the fire department is wearing masks on all of their calls now. And I anticipate that if things continue to go in the way they are, that we'll be seeing masks rolled out throughout town. So.
It's unfortunate, but we gotta protect. We gotta think about the kids too, and make
Yes.
sure that the ones that can't get vaccinated are protected. Do we take questions?
It's up to you, Jerry.
Could I kind of just jump in on
You
this?
certainly can. You just have to go to a microphone and he'll have to give his name. and-
Identify yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, up here.
Right up there.
Is this okay to do now, Ms. Miller? I'm Chris Buco, by the way, and that's Tim Breen, who I'm here with. We're on the docket tonight about the beer fest we were going to do in October, but just off of this topic, we had planned to have about 50 breweries, 1,500 people or so, but talking to them over the past week, a lot of people feel uncomfortable with the whole Delta thing as well, and rather than do something that might put the town at risk or make us look not great, we're just going to postpone it until next spring. So we just wanted to get ahead of it. We didn't want to blow you guys off today, so we wanted to come in and just tell you that we're going to postpone it, which stinks, and we raised a lot of money last time we did it, so we hope to do it again, but for the fall, we're not going to do it.
Smart.
raised a lot of money.
And we hope to do it again, but
Monumental amount.
yeah, so thank you guys for the time, obviously, and yeah, we just didn't want to.
So you're saying perhaps the fall?
So we were going to do it October 16th.
You're gonna push it to the spring.
Next fall.
Yeah, we're going to push it till next spring. And again, just a lot of breweries coming back and saying with the uncertainty, they don't feel comfortable sending people who work for them to taste beer or anything. And worst case, we do it and it turns into a spreading event, and then we just don't look good for it. So why risk it, especially if it's for a good cause and just for fun and not a reason to look bad. So that's all.
Sounds like a reasonable decision.
Yeah.
But thank you guys always. You're the best, and you always support us so much. So we'll be back in the spring, and hopefully bigger than and better than ever, and with no nonsense. So that's all.
Appreciate it.
Thank you guys so
Thank
much.
you.
Have the best night.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Tim. Check that one right off.
We'll take it off the
Good night,
list,
guys.
right? Thank you. Good night, guys. I know. I think all of us thought we would be kind of beyond this at this point, but hopefully we'll be able to turn the corner.
We did our update last week. The bus director and I were both doing it, and he's like, I'm kind of nauseous. I'm like, I know, right? I was really hoping, but fingers crossed we continue to go in the right direction.
Right direction.
So.
Thank you. And so our next update is really exciting. We'll be giving an update on our senior center progress for construction.
So when the chair and I were creating this agenda, I was like, we haven't met since we closed on the senior center. So huge news. Selectwoman was the first one to hear it because she happened to be there and heard them closing, but we have closed. So we have taken control of both of the properties, which is really exciting. We had our first construction meeting. So the current status, and it was a great construction meeting. We had our entire team there. The new senior center director was there, Jim Stanford, Dee, Andrew, everyone was a part of it. And our next steps basically will be starting our demo permit. So most of our submittals are actually already in from the contractor because we've had this contract signed for a year. So we're in good shape. But we were able to get submittals in. We're looking through some different change orders now because obviously pricing is a little bit more money, but we don't anticipate any huge issues there either, which is amazing. And the big thing now will be getting those demo permits in and ordering the steel. So it's about a 6-week wait on materials. But it lines up great because it's not bad. It lines up great because while we wait for those materials, we can get the demo permit and actually do the demo. So we're in really good shape. Everybody was really excited, and we're looking forward to getting started. So our contractor is Castagna, and they built the Wellesley site. So, you know, it's a great person to have. I don't know if anyone's been to the Wellesley Senior Center, but it's amazing. So we're really excited to get moving. I know that the Council on Aging is super excited. When we closed, Dee basically burnt rubber running downstairs to tell the Senior Center. Suzanne's like, wait, we haven't told the board. We were so excited. But we're really, really happy to be able to move forward. So.
And what do you know what the timeline is from when they break ground to what is that?
Yeah, I mean, I anticipate about an 18-month period for construction. I think what we'll see is probably that unfortunately Minkle will be moving faster than us at this point, which is fine because in private usually goes a little faster. They're already getting their building down. If you go by, there's only one wall left standing. So.
I was just saying that we started the demo, I'm like, looking for the permits, I'm like, I don't know, I think something's happening. but
They're
I
a step
gotta-
ahead of us. They have their permits in hand. They have both their demolition permit and their building permit in hand, so they're ready to go. We're a little bit behind them, but it's fine because of the material delay. So we'll be getting demo permits going, and I believe the application's already in, and we'll be getting started.
So really a year from the spring,
Yes,
we're looking. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
it's really exciting. And remember, we have, the timing lines up really well because we have $100,000 from the Amazon community agreement for furniture and electronics. So we'll be able to buy the furniture and do the electronics, and the timing will all really run well. So, yeah,
Very
it's
exciting.
exciting.
All right, we are going on to new business. And our first item is to confirm the town manager appointments to the Board of Assessors. We have three, two of which are corrected terms.
That's right. And then the new one is Nicole and Nicole Hubrin. Nicole met with Bill Mitchell, who is such an amazing assessor. We're so lucky to have him. And he was very impressed with her because she has a really interesting. Is Nicole here?
Yeah.
Hi, Nicole. I did not get to meet Nicole. Welcome. Now I'm going to brag about you. So, so she has a PhD in business with a concentration in finance and an MBA. She has lived here for the last 10 years, and she was willing to do 4 hours a week, so I think we should probably try to get her on at least 3 more committees. I was like, what? But she's also has a lot of familiarity with valuation approaches, budgeting, and forecasting, which is a lot of what we do, and will be really helpful when we're forecasting things like, it actually came up today, like personal property and Amazon. So we're really excited to have her on board. Thank you for volunteering.
Thank you.
Do you want a motion?
I would love a motion.
I would move approval of, and I know your name, but I can't think of it right now. Where is it?
Brian Perry, Christian Caldwell, and Nicole Hoop.
Oh, you want me to do all of them?
You can do all three, it's fine.
Okay, so moved as the town manager. It's Nicole. I had a different name in your head and couldn't shake it. And I think that's great. Sounds like a great crew, so I would move approval.
I'll second that.
Just clarify that the terms on this, that Brian Perry's term runs to June 30th, 2022, that Christina Caldwell's runs till June 30th, 2023, and that Nicole's runs till June 30th, 2024. So you get full 3 years.
The only thing is, it's Christian.
Christian, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Thank you.
All those in favor? Aye.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you, welcome.
Yeah.
Can be a tough job sometimes, you know. Yeah.
This town couldn't run without volunteers, so I appreciate your service. So our next item will be the appointment of the election officers. You were telling me that we have to do this every year?
Yep, this is an annual requirement. These are all the folks that work our elections that we have each year. The list was actually updated this morning, because I believe may have been one of you that let us know someone had moved. There we go, I knew one of you did it. One of you had let us know someone had moved out of town. And so this is an updated list as of this morning. So in your motion, if you could just do the list from August 9th. Thank you.
Any discussion? No?
I move that the select board appoint all the election officers named on the list provided by the town clerk, Dawn Warren, in her letter dated
August 9th.
August 9th, 2021.
I'll second
Updated
that.
this.
All those in favor?
Aye.
It's approved by vote. Thank you for your service at all our elections. We couldn't do those without the election officers either. It's amazing how many people it takes. And so the next item on our agenda is the appointment of a designee for the MBTA Advisory Board, and I believe that Andrew Shapiro has agreed to be our representative for the town.
So as you know, North Andover is one of the 176 cities and towns that are in the MBTA service district. And we do have a seat on the MBTA Advisory Board because of that. Most communities that I've seen usually have a staff person who's designated, and Andrew has agreed to do it, so.
And we're lucky to have Andrew and have him be our representative, so I will entertain a motion for that as well.
Approval of Andrew Shapiro to serve on the MBTA Advisory Committee.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Just a question on that. Do we still have the bus that goes from the Mills to Boston?
I don't know the answer to that.
They're ending, did I read that they're ending
I-
that?
Oh, they're
They're
ending.
ending the,
Oh, okay.
in general, the service to Boston,
Interesting.
but
I don't know.
Same thing. That's somewhere, so be good to know.
Yeah, I'll certainly look into that and let you know.
Good
It goes from
question.
the
Thanks,
mills?
Dick.
Yes.
It used to go from the Aussie property site, and then they switched it to the mills, because I think they felt as though they'd get more interest.
I imagine commuters are down into Boston significantly.
You feel it.
That's true.
Right,
Other people
right,
is
has gone,
low.
yeah.
I do see a lot of empty buses in town as they go around, but.
Yeah, nobody wants to be on public, yeah, I don't know. Is Carol Bradstreet here for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation? Nope.
So this application is in order, and there is no concerns from any of the departments.
And they're applying to use the streets
Yes.
for the Great Strides Walkathon. I believe it's around the Common,
It
correct?
is.
This is an annual event.
Annual,
They do this every
yeah.
year.
This is
Yep.
cool.
I will gladly, oh, go ahead.
I'll move approval.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. we look forward to that on May 21st, 2022, so,
Plenty of time.
yes, plenty of time, so. But something to look forward to when it's the spring, right? Getting warmer again. And so we are taking item E off the agenda, correct?
Yes.
So our next is Diane Flayhive? No? They are also requesting for the neurofibromatosis Northeast to use Salem, Ingalls, Forest, Boxford, Forest, Winter, and Dale Streets for a Coast to Cura bike ride.
Literally, I think it was a very small bike ride, and they will literally just be passing through
town, right?
before we even know it.
Is it a bike, like a bicycle ride, or is it a
It's a bike.
motorcycle? It's a regular bike, okay. I was curious.
I think it's very small. I want to say it's only
I
10
think,
of
I
us.
It's
think it was
like
like
10
20
people.
or something. It was a
Yeah.
very small number
Yeah,
of
it's
people.
very small, yeah.
I think it's probably a century ride. I can't.
Yeah, it's a nice little route, kind
Route
of
through-
Newburyport and
Yep.
goes through
When
us to
I saw
Manchester.
the map, that's why I thought it was a motorcycle ride.
Really?
Because it
They'll
looks
give
it
you
looks-
two rides.
It's a long, yeah. I was like, that's a long,
Scooter.
right.
That's a long way.
That's a
yeah.
long way to be on a bike. So,
I'll move approval
Approval.
of the neurofibromatosis Northeast request to use those streets for the Coast to Cure bike ride, September 11th, 2021.
I'll second that.
all those in favor?
Aye.
That's approved, 5-0, and we look forward to that on September 11th of this year.
We've got Sarah Brush watching at home, and she let us know that we no longer have the service. It's down due to low ridership.
Low ridership.
And it was effective today, actually, is the last day.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Okay, so our next item is the request of Lieutenant Matt Davis to use the Veterans Park on September 11th this year for the 9/11 Remembrance Ceremony, which will be which I can't believe, the 20th anniversary. And we're typically do it in front of Town Hall, but this year we're moving it to Veterans Park because potentially the crowd that it will draw, right? So,
I would move approval. And thank you for Lieutenant Davis. He's been doing a lot for these types of programs for the town for years, whether it be this or be Memorial Day or whatever, just quietly in the background, setting up chairs and getting ready, and it's,
I would second and look forward to attending.
all those in favor?
Aye.
That's approved 5-0, and we look forward to attending that. And we thank them, Matt Davis, for putting this together for us. Oh. And so the next item on our agenda is the request of St. Michael's Parish to hold their annual parish mass and picnic on the town common. I think that they didn't have it last year, so this will be their annual picnic and mass, and that would be on September 12th, 2021.
I would move approval. And the history of this really lovely town event, all are welcome. You do not have to be a member of the parish, but all are welcome to enjoy the day.
I'm sure it's hopefully good weather. Do I have a second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
So we look forward to that event as well. It's nice to see events on the agenda and moving forward. And so our next request is from, I'm not going to do this, Jayanthi Gatru of the Indian Association of the Greater Boston to proclaim August 15th, 2021 as India Day. And they will be raising the flag and I believe reading the proclamation on that day down at the flag. So I will,
I'll make a motion that we proclaim August 15th as India Day.
I'll
Second.
second it.
all those in favor? Aye. So we look forward to that event as well, and we have the proclamation here for them. And I will entertain a motion to move into licensing.
Motion to of the North Andover Licensing Commission.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Over to you.
Okay, here we go. So we first start off, we have a public hearing for the application from Candy Dish LLC for an all-alcohol off-premise package store license at 1820 Turnpike Street. Do we have anybody here to speak to that? So if you'd please come up, introduce yourselves and take us through.
Mr. Chair, while they sit down, I just want to let you know this is public note. This is the special legislation license, so it is tied to this spot.
Melissa Domenico. We started the Candy Dish 6 years ago. We're local moms here in town. We started wholesaling, grew the business over the years. Most recently, we were in Linfield, Market Street, having a store there, where people would wait hours to come into our store. And in June, we ended it thinking, let's bring it back home to North Andover. And we found 1820 Turnpike, and it has a kitchen, it has everything that we need. And so our dream has always been to have this pairing opportunity where you come in. Well, first of all, Shauna's going to be making the chocolate. So you're going to walk into the store and you're going to watch her. And then you're going to have the opportunity to have that pairing, the perfect wine with your chocolates. You can have bourbon with our bourbon caramels. It's just going to be an experience that it's not anywhere else. And we just think it would be a great opportunity to bring to town.
A lot of people's favorite things in that little space.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Candy and a
We've
nice
done so
glass
many
of something.
events. We've done like the
Yeah.
best of the North Shore.
Yeah.
We've done
Merrimack Valley.
Andover Classic Wines for
yeah.
years. We've always done these.
We've always done these events
tastings.
that also pair wine with chocolate, and so when we came into the spot, not knowing at the time that it had the liquor license attached to it, it almost felt like, I don't know, felt like fate. It felt, yeah, exactly, yeah. So,
Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
yeah.
Sounds wonderful. So hopefully we'll be opening in September. It's under construction now, so we've been renovating over the past few
So
weeks.
what will your hours be? Would it be something where people would go out to dinner and then go there for kind of after dinner drink and
Yeah,
dessert?
yeah. So we're sort of working out the hours. I'll be there every day making stuff just because that's the nature of the business, but we're trying to figure out,
We'll be open until at least 7
Yeah,
o'clock
yeah.
on Thursday nights, Friday nights.
weekends will
Monday, Tuesdays
absolutely be later. Yeah.
are kind of slower days, so we'll probably be closed on those. And,
But it's all carryout. There's no.
oh, carry out.
Oh, yeah, yep,
The only thing, so when you come in, and there'll be a little bar, and you'll be able, with the sneeze guard, of course, and you'll be able
Yeah.
to watch,
Yeah.
you'll be able to watch it.
You can sit and watch us make it.
You can have samples of
Yeah.
the chocolates, but then you can buy your
Yeah.
gifts. So we always, I feel like over the years, we've always been a good go-to for teacher gifts, I don't know, birthday gifts.
Yeah,
We have a
events,
local
weddings,
artist in
we do a
town.
ton
She
of
does all
wedding showers, yeah. Oh.
Aaron's cards.
Oh,
We have all
yeah,
of the
yeah.
local people that help us too with the store too. So whenever we can have somebody help with any type of artistic, it's just like a local
Yeah.
feel. So I think if we did the rum too,
Right.
I don't want people to think that we're doing this liquor store. It's like you're gonna come in, it's like a
Yeah.
package store.
It's not.
specific things that pair with what we're doing. It's
Right.
not, you're not gonna get beer in there. We're not gonna offer that kind of stuff. It's gonna be upper scale, a little classier than a
Then a
package
package
store.
store, yeah.
Well, I think it's interesting too, that you
Yeah.
kind of look at the development in the area where you're locating. And that's, kind of that's what's interesting. There's these sort of buds around town of areas, commerce, and that strip of road certainly
There's
welcomes
nothing-
it.
Right, there's nothing
Right.
on that side of town. We had some of our customers, they wrote us some letters too, that they are thrilled that we're bringing something to that side.
Mhm.
And, I mean, they keep calling it a destination too. It's people gonna come and just bring some life to that side, because we're almost, I mean, it's almost Middleton side.
Mhm.
Sure is.
But it'll be nice. The dance studio's upstairs. I know they're excited that we're coming in. There's a day spa there too, so a lot of people can come to that plaza now.
You've got people you've got built-in walkers with
Yeah.
the.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, with Berry Street and across the street Colonial
Yeah.
Road, yeah.
Yep.
My friends on Colonial have already said, we'll be walking over,
Yeah.
so they're excited.
Will you hold events at your, like,
I
at
have
the
to
store?
find out the rules, so I would love to do fundraisers. I
yeah.
gotta see with the ABCC, if this gets passed, if we can hold events at the store. I just don't know the rules yet. We just never had to, we never had
Yeah,
A lot
to.
of potential and you've
Yes.
found quite a niche for yourself, so I
I
think
know.
absolutely. Hard work.
It'll be a great addition to town. Very exciting.
We're excited.
Anything else that you want us to know about how it's coming together, or,
How it's coming together? Well, if this passes, we're gonna get on distributors right away, so we could at least start, selecting like the perfect wines and, local rums, local vendors too, to keep it within Massachusetts. I think everyone always likes like the whole like local feel. It'd be kinda nice to have a specialty store just for that.
And if, we want to be able to move onto the option of doing more chocolates that have that alcohol pairing, so it'll be fun to test that out, and if we can, incorporate that into the store, yeah. Excited. That'll be the next step, next phase.
great, wonderful. If there are no other questions,
I would move approval.
what we've got to close our licensing
Oh,
hearing first, right?
I'm sorry. Yep.
Chair, I'll move we close the public hearing for the application of Candy Dish LLC for an all-alcohol premise package store liquor license at 1820 Turnpike Street.
A second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now I'll move approval.
That would be
I
great.
mean, I was so excited I could hardly wait. to go.
We've got to follow the format, but we're good.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Welcome.
Thank
Yes.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
And connect with our Merchants Association.
Yeah, definitely. We'll be in touch.
Please do. Right? Right. So, great. And we have another hearing. We have busy licensing. This is, I'm excited about this. I mean, it really tells us things are coming together again. We're finding a way.
Need their entertainment license, sorry.
I don't think we do the entertainment license. I don't assume we don't have any other questions for them, but we probably should at least vote it.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you, Madam Town Manager. Do I have a motion to approve their entertainment license for the Candy Dish LLC at 1820 Turnpike Street?
I'll second that.
Do you need a motion or you?
I s-
Did you say?
I
you
was
had
just
one?
reading, I was reading off what we were doing.
I will
Oh, you
move,
didn't have a motion yet.
I
I'll move
mean,
approval.
Yeah, I'll
Motion.
second.
I'll move approval of
All right.
their license at 1820 Turnpike.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're getting to grow. It's still a little, everybody's coming back together.
I'm sorry, I thought you said I have a motion.
Sorry, we're all working our way through it. But it is, sidetrack there, thank you for the follow-up, but it is really, I guess I want to express, I think, to our whole community, it's really amazing to see how many businesses want to come to our community, that in spite of we're still in the recovery, that's happening. And I think that's a really great sign for who we are, where we've come, and we're wishing them all luck. So with that, now we will move to the next public hearing, which is an application from the Toasted Brothers at North Andover LLC, DBA, The Friendly Toast, for an all-alcohol on-premise liquor, restaurant liquor license at 550 Turnpike Street.
I move to open the public hearing for Toasted Brothers of North Andover LLC for an all-alcohol on-premise restaurant liquor license at 550 Turnpike Street.
Thank you.
A second.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, our hearing is open. Do we have someone here to speak to that for us? Well, welcome.
Yes, you do. Hello.
All right.
How do you do?
Hi.
I'm Scott Pulver, one of the owners of the Friendly Toast.
I'm Diana, I'm going to be acting general manager.
Thank you for having us. Really appreciate it.
Sure.
We're
So
excited.
Tell us.
Friendly Toast is an all-day brunch restaurant. We serve scratch kitchen food. We make everything in-house. We play fun rock and roll. Our waiters and waitresses are happy people, and we have a great community of followers that love our food. And we're all about food.
So no grouches may apply.
No.
You're happy people.
No,
Yes.
Yep. No grouches may apply. This will be our our seventh location. We actually opened in Danvers today. We have a grand opening today.
Where in Danvers?
We're on the Access Road going to the Liberty Tree Mall. We took over a former Applebee's behind Kelly's Roast Beef.
Oh, okay, yes.
And we had a smashing opening, and it was great. Was it fun?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. So this will be our seventh location, and I I know people in town here who say this is going to be a home run location, so we're fired up. I was just in the building about an hour ago. We're in the middle of construction. It's coming together. And so with that, if you have any questions for us, we'd love to hear what you'd like to know.
You have something of a built-in audience with Merrimack College, like walking distance.
I think that'll be quite helpful.
Yes.
A lot of buzz, I'm telling you.
Well, thank you, thank you.
So are you in the old Fuddruckers, is that what it is? The
Yes,
used to
it's in the
Fuddruckers?
former Fuddruckers, yes.
Yeah. And what's your date, or your planned date of opening?
My construction team says they're going to turn the building over to me for training around September 15th, so that you know that means October 15th.
Oh, that's still right
You know
around
how
the
that
corner.
goes.
That's coming up fast.
Yeah, it's
You
coming up
just had
fast.
one open and you're-
We've demoed it, and now we're doing the building process. There's not a huge build. We're just going to rebuild the kitchen. The dining room stays as it is. The bathrooms stay as they are. The window treatments, our window line is the same. So this is not a major project for us. This is a new kitchen situation.
Yeah, it lends itself nicely to what you're doing, actually, the former site.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I know Fuddruckers did well back in the day, so I'm hoping, we'll do well too.
Sounds exciting, another exciting place up there.
We're not going to go hungry in North Andover. From breakfast right up to drinks and candy. We're doing good.
That's right.
We're up 114.
Any other questions from the board? Anything else that you want to add for us to know?
I have nothing to add except you're going to love it.
Okay.
It-
Do you have like specialty brunch food or anything like that?
Oh,
Something
yeah,
different?
everything's a
Yeah, This is
specialty.
your chance to
Well,
tell
I
the people
mean,
at home, believe it or not,
Is this
they
a-
do
is this
watch
a
us,
P- is this
which
a
I find
PR
hard to
moment?
believe.
To
Yes.
those of you out there,
There you go.
no, our chicken and waffles is off the hook. Our salads are ridiculous. We have multi-different eggs Benedicts. What else do we have? What separates us?
We also serve ramen. You can get anything morning, noon, and night. So we're like an all day, every day breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Ramen, tacos.
So yeah.
Yeah. We have a breakfast appetizer plate that is just full of ridiculous food. Cheese stuffed tater tot, big tater tot. Egg roll. It's got corned beef egg roll, corned beef and egg roll. What else is in that breakfast?
Churro bites, so
Oh.
cinnamon sugar donut pieces. So
yeah.
the menu is extensive, but it's that's kind of why we're here. We have something for everybody.
Right.
We're family friendly, so you can come in, get whatever you want, anytime you want, and
Yeah, and every time I eat there, which is 3 times a week, I'm blown away. The cooks really are creative, and nothing is a straight line. When you come in, you'll see. There's,
Tell everyone again what your hours are when you are open.
well, with COVID, we're tending to close kind of early, like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. Once the world is back up and running again, I think this restaurant will probably be an 8 to 8 restaurant. That's
That's what
probably
I was
our-
thinking.
Yeah.
That's great. It's sort of like kind of like a diner. It's got a new diner on steroids, sort of a thing, right?
It's a
So-
diner on steroids, but our decorating taste is rather eclectic, and we have a
Good.
full-time person going to flea markets, getting our art for our stores, and everything is 1950s kitschy. I'm in charge of lighting, and I'm on eBay. I buy out of eBay almost every other day with all the cool, in my searches, swag vintage lighting.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Great. Wonderful.
And that's our story, and we're sticking to it. So thank you for hearing us out today. We really appreciate it.
We're
Absolutely.
excited to have you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, just a reminder
Yes.
to see if there's any public comment.
I didn't get anything directly.
No, but I didn't know if there was anyone.
Is anybody,
Yeah.
was there anyone speaking to that here? No. Thank you, Madam Town Manager. Okay. We-
Chair, I'll move to close the public hearing for the application for Toasted Brothers North Andover LLC.
I'll second it.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
I would move approval.
I'll second.
All right. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time, and thank you, and remember, brunch hard.
And
A really active North Andover Merchants
Yes.
Association that, you might want to look into, maybe becoming a member of.
Okay.
And meeting with them,
We'll
so.
find you.
When you come visit me at the restaurant,
I will.
come
I'll
talk
be
to me
there.
about it.
I'll be
All right?
there.
Thanks so much.
and let's take care of your entertainment license while you're here.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Okay, now you have to entertain for us.
We didn't tell you about that
Do you
part.
want song or dance? I can do both.
It's a low threshold, it's a morning sort of thing, so. We have all the paperwork in our package, all good, all signed off on. Are there any other questions from the committee regarding that?
So I'll move approval.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So you can serve and entertain.
All right. Thanks so much.
Welcome.
Have a great
Take
day.
care. Have a good evening. Okay, now we have a application from Theodore Londi of Londis Inc., a DBA Londis Famous Roast Beef and Pizza for a common vittler license and an annual entertainment license at 350 Turnpike Ave. Anybody here to speak to that? I'm sorry. Winter. Please, join us.
Now top that last entertaining show that we just had. No pressure.
So, would you guys think, I started in 2003.
Uh-huh.
I was going to college, then I was working for my family in Ipswich. Then I decided, 2003, well, I do what I gotta do, so let's move on. Then I start with my girlfriend, now my wife. So went to Burlington. My first store was like 2002, 2003 in Burlington. Then from there, we moved on to Reading, Danvers. If you remember, the explosion was in Danvers back then, so I bought the building. Took me 3 years to build that place out. Then from there, went to Salem, right on Highland Ave,
Of Salem, Mass, yeah.
Salem, Mass.
Yeah.
Then from there, I went to West Peabody 2 years ago. Then we got family issue. My son got very sick, so I decided, I sold the place, then now it's getting better. So we decide, to open right at 350 Winthrop Ave. So
So what are you next to? There's not too much on Winthrop Ave. So is that in the mall or is it one of the?
it is. Used to be
Right
some
near-
shoes.
Oh,
Payless,
yes,
yeah,
yeah.
whatever, yeah, right,
Yeah.
right on the corner. So
Okay.
I spoke to it's owned by the Market Basket, so my store in Salem was next to the Market Basket Plaza, and then we decide, I know it's so many competition, but 2 years ago, the group North Shore Beef start, so because of me, all the groups start up, people come, we got on TV, we got on the radio channels, so I was the first one, invented North Shore Beefs. So all the people crazy about the roast beef, all the high school, they come in taking project with they're doing videos like Wilmington High School and Wakefield. So all the kids, they just, was fun.
Were you on the radio too? Was it announced on the radio as well?
No, it was when they come, so we got voted the first beef 1 year.
Yeah.
2 years ago, the first beef on North Shore.
I
So we got
think
the
there was a
Fountain
talk
Gourmet.
show that
Huh?
talked about your place. You probably, maybe you didn't even know it. It was all good.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, so I heard. Yeah, that was the reason when to start all the thing that's going on. But so I figure out I live right down the street. I live in Middleton. It's very close for me too, and just why not? It's now with COVID-19. With the restaurant. The economy. We're doing well, but everything going high, the price, and the pizza business, the roast beef, it's kind of more for family of four. Instead of going to a restaurant, you're gonna break a bank, So with the shop, with $40, you can feed family of four, being full and going home. Then my favorite, if you ask people, they say my sandwiches, they're very, very huge. So actually, people the weight in the beef, they get scale. They wait in a while, 16 ounce for junior beef. Wow, that's crazy. It's pretty much it.
Very good. So what's your plan for opening? When's your opening date? Do you have one yet?
Well, I have no idea. Now I just spoke to one of my builders. The walk-in freezer they don't have until December.
Wow.
They're short of
It's the foam, right?
the foam. The short of foam. So just I don't know what I'm gonna do, and just I tried to get a landlord to give me some break. So, but I didn't start anything to buy yet because I don't know what's gonna happen, and I'm in the meeting, and so, and then but just pretty much the other stuff it's almost done. But the most concern is on the Pitco, the fry layers. They're not done till November 15th. Because I usually build with a brand new. I don't like to use equipment Reason is because we think it's cheap, but you know what I mean, on the long run, you pay more money just if you close one day, that's what it is. So I got all the builders saying that because they built 8 stores for me, so they're all great builders. And but the thing is, the equipment, it's so hard. Yeah, you know the shortage of home.
Yep.
I just got an email today that say nothing until December 4th. So
Hopefully you'll
just-
get it going. So do you have other stores that are up and running now too, though? You
Right now, no.
No, you don't. Okay.
For 2 years, so everybody knows my son got leukemia 2 years ago. So, but he's doing good. I have to decide. My family come first.
Of course.
So, money's good, but family's first.
Good for you.
So I want to protect my family. That's most important to me. So now he's doing better. It's almost done with the therapy. So we decide what are you gonna do. You know what I mean? So my wife and I, that's what we do for like too many years, for like over 20 years. So this is the best we can do. Then I have a great name so far. I mean, I'm hoping, but all my business when I started, they were doing really busy, really busy.
Well, again, good for you, for family comes first,
Always.
and your best wishes on your son. As you said, he's getting better,
Oh,
thank
yeah,
God.
it's getting much better. Thank
So,
God.
Yes.
Thank God. I always pray to God. Thanks so much for.
And I know these people on this board, and I think we'll all be praying for you, your
Thank you so
son
much. It
and
was so nice
the
of you.
town manager. We're a very family-oriented board, so,
Well, that's what
We
it
wish your
keep us.
son the very
Family is
best.
most number one.
of course.
Absolutely.
So that's pretty much that's my story in my life. No much.
You got a good location there too.
Yeah.
It's right
Yeah,
off
I
the
try.
highway, so.
Yeah.
delivery.
Oh yeah, I will.
We're
Hopefully.
all putting our requests.
Oh yeah, hopefully I get you know, I mean, it's hard to find employees these days, but
Oh, my goodness,
I
so
know.
now we have breakfast, lunch,
I know, that'd
and
be great.
dessert.
Everybody's gonna say that.
And it's actually, you just go straight down 114.
Pretty much.
So it sounds like we need one of those buses that does the transport around town.
Now it's Uber Eats, all the other stuff. It's easy. Just one. So everybody use like smartphone. It's just one bottom way. That's it. Done. That's pretty much the story. You know. Just thank you so much for listening to me. I hope I didn't bore you guys. You know my story.
Absolutely. You
So
did not.
just it's simple. That's it.
We wish you opening.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Chair, I'll move the Select Board acting as Licenses Commissioners approve the application of Thedori Lundy of Lundy's Inc., DBA Lundy's Famous Roast Beef and Pizza for a common victual license and annual entertainment license at 350 Winthrop Ave.
All in favor?
Aye.
Best of luck,
Thank you
sir.
so much. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Next, we have let's see, an application for a change of manager from Walgreens of Massachusetts LLC, DBA Walgreens, at number 10209, located at 900 Waverly Road. Is there anybody here to speak to this? If you would, please, join us.
Too much, you could stop off at Walgreens on
Yeah.
the same road.
While she walks up, I'll let you know that this is a simple one, just a change of manager, and the application is in order, and there is no concerns from any of the departments.
If I recall, we went through this last year with the consolidation of Rite Aid, so all came in, okay, great. Anything that you'd want to share with us in terms of taking on this role? You're all ready for it?
I have 16 years in the company. I've been doing this for a really long time. I've been a leader for 7 years, store manager for going on over 4 years. This is my first time holding a liquor license, but it isn't my first time being in some sort of regulatory role, being a manager of the pharmacy as well, overseeing the whole store. I have a lot to do with compliance and being responsible for a lot of different aspects of the store, so this is something I'm ready to take on.
One question, if I could ask, and that is, if I recall, Walgreens is a location that does the wine delivery for Wine Inc., is that correct?
So we partner with FedEx, and I believe they do that, but we just take the packages in and we hold it until the tenant recipient comes in to pick it up. So we're not directly connected with it, but if FedEx does that, then that's what we offer.
So how do we how do you make sure that that person is of legal age? Or do you have to require that person of legal age to pick up the package from UPS?
So we check IDs. We match the recipient. We make sure that that's the intended recipient. And if it's alcohol, it actually prompts us on our handheld for the FedEx package that it is something that someone over 18 or 21 has to handle and receive as well.
Great, I appreciate that. Any other questions or?
This is the location where you block it off, right? The hours, certain hours you block off the liquor
Correct.
area.
Correct, it would be
Yeah.
locked off.
Are there any other questions? I'll hear a motion.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Have a wonderful day.
Congratulations. Yes. So I'd like to just take a moment to talk a little bit about our requirements for the one-day special liquor license applications. And previously serving as the licensing chair, it's, it's sort of like that season, it comes back up. But I think in particular, with COVID and the stress that, our departments are under in terms of what they have to deal with, the timing it takes to get licenses approved. When they come to us here, as I think you all know, there's a lot of work that's come together with these, a lot of research, and that work is an addition to whatever all these departments are doing. And so when there's a rush, you kind of drop that, time bomb, as it were, in the middle of that. And we understand situations transpire like this, but I think one of the things that I'd like to ask, on behalf of us as a licensing board, is for folks to really be attentive to that 30-day window. Obviously we don't want to follow up or have a problem with someone's event, but we really ask that people do their very best to get that in 30 days prior, so that it's not a rush, that we're not taking folks out of the flow if possible. We looked at having rush fees and that sort of thing, and I think we decided as a board, let's not do that. Let's try and continue to work on good faith. And I think there's also some efforts underway maybe to take certain groups that have been coming in for one-day licensing and just basically getting them a catering license. So just try to take a little strain off the process, and I think we've done a good job over the past couple of years. But I guess I wanted, as a board, to acknowledge that, but also let the applicants know that we really, it's really important to try and do it within those, prior to that 30 days, just because of the strain on us. And I know, Madam Town Manager, you've been, very patient about it, so I may be expressing it, hopefully I'm expressing it accurately.
No, we appreciate it, especially, we've got a lot of divisions that have to go over these, and with vacations, it could mean that an application is not approved in time. So we want to make sure that everyone's application gets through and in a timely way.
Yeah.
So we appreciate that, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we have an application from Armin Kenavian. Sorry, I'm trying.
Could I suggest that we
Yes.
take item J out of order,
Sure.
since we have someone waiting?
Oh, Kate is here, that's right. Yes, we will do that. This is an application from Kate Bemino of the Stevens Coolidge Place for 2 one-day wine and malt liquor licenses and a waiver of police detail for a garden party on August 21st, 2021 from noon to 7 p.m. and a community picnic on September 19th, 2021 from 10 to 6. So I know you just heard me talk about the 30-day, but tell us about these events, Kate.
Sure, yeah. First, I'm so enthused about everyone who came before me tonight. I already follow Candy Dish on Instagram, and there was a friendly toast next to UNH, so really happy that those will both be close by.
Awesome.
The August 21st event is actually something that we've been in conversations with Merrimack Valley Black and Brown Voices for a few years now. The first time the women who started that organization came to the gardens, we were walking around and they were like, do you know the Roaring Twenties party at Castle Hill? We should do that here. Harlem Renaissance style. And so finally, after a few years, we've come together and we'll hopefully be able to offer that at the end of the month. And then the September 19th Community Day, we've just been offering monthly or bi-monthly free community days this summer. And we keep having some of them rained out, and then the rain date rained out. And so that September 19th is just me really trying to host that community day that keeps getting bumped. And so Spigot River Brewery from Lawrence would like to join us if it doesn't rain.
And Kate, you sent a letter to the board earlier today.
I did, yes. Oh, thank you for bringing that up. The August 21st event, we were going to work with a wholesale distributor and run the bar with our tip certified staff. And I apologize in trying to get the permit in that, or prior to that 30-day window. I didn't realize that I had to submit the time that alcohol was on site, not just the time we were serving it. So in speaking to the distributor, they're not going to drop it off on a Saturday. So if it is approved today, then that would be very helpful so that they could drop off alcohol and pick up during the regular work week.
So it would be dropped off on Thursday and picked up the following Thursday?
Yes.
And how are you gonna store that?
So we have locked offices that are not open to the public away from the gardens, kind of at the periphery of the property where we'd store it.
We've done this before, haven't we? Have we done this before?
Maybe years ago, but I know things change, and so I just wanted to be here and follow the most up-to-date guidelines.
Kate, you don't usually, so typically when we see your application, just because this one's a little different than what we typically see, you have an off-site bartenders, typically they come with a food truck or some other caterer.
Yeah, typically like a brewery or a winery will just pop up for that day. But because it's Harlem Renaissance themed, we wanted to maybe offer more than just beer, maybe just make it a little fancier.
So I noticed there was a request for a waiver of the police detail for the garden party, the 21st. Any thoughts from the board about that request? You know, we're trying to be sensitive to.
Right. So we've been saying that events at night is when we would require the detail. I believe it ends at 7.
7, right.
Am I right?
Yeah, so daylight hours, family friendly.
Is there a capacity, like, for selling tickets?
Yeah,
So what-
I'm hoping for 200 people spread across the day. We'll see if we meet that goal.
And what are the ticket prices?
$15 for trustees members, $25 if not, and then kids are free.
Not to really harp on the storage, I know that it happens from time to time, but I have concerns about it being on site for a week.
Okay.
So I just, maybe moving forward, if you guys do those, if you guys are serving, maybe there's a week's just a long time. Like, I can understand them maybe having to drop it off on Friday and pick it up Monday. But a week seems like a long time to just have alcohol hanging out.
Is it helpful, because obviously, like, if this is approved, then I can talk to the wholesaler and they can't, like, sell me alcohol until it's approved. So would it be helpful if, I expressed that to them and we shortened that window and then I updated the board? Is that
would be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
or
fine.
just, again, I know that this is a particular event, but moving forward, if it happens again, maybe you can work with them, and just that it's a concern.
Yeah.
Sure.
Kind of should take a little more control of it. It's probably easy for them, but it should also
Yeah.
work for all of us too, right? I think that's
Fair.
kind of the
Yep.
message.
And Kate, what's the reason for asking for the waiver on the police detail?
It just seems unnecessary. I've found that the police detail sometimes, we are welcome to join the concert on Friday nights, but with the new entryway, when we were on Andover Street, it was necessary to help people cross the road, but we don't have crowds. It's spread out over the day.
And does the police department request the detail? Do they still request it, or do they still feel it's necessary?
On this
I
one,
mean, I would see if it was a free event, right, but it's not a free event. You're paying, people are paying a premium amount to be there, And, I mean, if it was a free event, then we waive the police detail, right? But it's really not a free event. So I'm not sure why we're asking to waive the police detail, even though it's during the day.
So my 2 cents is that when we have alcohol and we have an event that's really is ticketed, I prefer to have the detail. I think it's better practice. When you have a wedding and you're limited to 150 people and you know who those 150 people are, I think it's easier. You know, I know that because this was a daytime event, I think is why they supported the waiver, but
Well, the police.
they did agree to the waiver in this instance, yes.
All right, if that's the case, then I'm fine with it.
Well, it's an important discussion to have, though.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we need to revisit the need for it, because like Kate has said, you know, that it's not crossing the street anymore, right?
Right.
And, you know, maybe we look at what the parameters are.
It is.
It's a different
because
dynamic.
I'm sure that, if it's excessively noisy, I mean, there's different things that come into play that I would imagine that, you know, the police can help monitor, so.
If there are any other questions, I'm ready to hear a motion then.
Just
Go ahead.
clarifying, your recommendation though is to keep the police detail?
So for me, I think, you know, this sounds like it's a smaller event, but for some of the ones that are much bigger and it's harder to control, you know, the police are not only helpful for traffic, but also for people who may become inebriated, who are trying to drive drunk, et cetera. And so for liability reasons, I think it's always a good idea for larger events. It's just my 2 cents.
I know you said, you know, you hope for 200 people, but do you guys have a cap on it? If 500 people buy tickets, are you going to sell 500
Oh, no,
tickets?
I have 300 tickets available. As of today, I've sold 38.
Okay.
So I.
It's because everybody thinks it's gonna rain.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with the quality. I can assure you that.
It's gonna be so fun.
It's the weather. So, okay, thank you.
Dick, I mean, are you comfortable with making a motion
Sure.
as it
I'll
is?
move the select board acting as licensing commissioners approve the application of KP Bo for the Stevens Coolidge Place for 2 one-day wine and malt liquor licenses for a garden party on August 21st, 2021 from 12 to 7 p.m. and to allow the storage of liquor on premises from August 19th to August 26th, which may be amended, right? Okay. And a community picnic on September 19th, 2021 from 10 to 6 and further move to waive the police detail for the picnic.
Great, thank you.
I'll second.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
No rain.
Thank
Good
you.
line. All
Thank
right.
you for that too.
Sure. Thanks. Okay, so back to item H, application from Armin Chiknavarian on behalf of St. Gregory's Church for a one-day wine and malt liquor license at 159 Main Street on September 12th, 2021 from noon to 6 p.m. for a picnic festival and request to waive the application fee. I don't think we've got anybody here to speak to that. But again, we've got our package here. This is again an annual event fundraiser. What we've done for many years. Any questions or concerns from the board?
I'll move just the way you read it.
All right.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. One more. Applications from Deborah Ingalls of Butlers and Bars for 3 one-day liquor licenses for the following events in the large event tent and request for a waiver of police details. Now that we've had our extensive discussion on that. And the first is an all-alcohol license for wedding ceremony and reception on August 14th, 2021 from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. An all-alcohol license for wedding ceremony and reception on September 4th, 2021 from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. and a wine and malt license for a charity dinner on August 17th from 3:30 to 8 p.m. And again, we've got all this in our package.
Sorry about getting under the wire, right? August
Yeah.
17th, August 17th. Yeah, that message needs to be heard, the earlier message.
So I did meet with Mike last week, or I talked to him last week on the phone, and Small Rock Farms has gone ahead and applied for a catering license. at our request or suggestion. It's about a 6-week process for him to hear back, but that would take away the need to do the one-day licenses anymore,
Oh, that's nice. Yeah,
which
that's
would
a great
benefit,
idea.
which would be a great benefit to all of us as well as to
Right.
them. And I'm very thankful to them for being so cooperative. And I know it's a lot of work to do the application, so I'll keep in touch with him about that.
That'd be
How
great.
does that work
That'd
with
be
the
great.
police details? So that would then be
They
a
no longer would need
separate.
the police details, right?
They wouldn't need.
They would not. Nope, because it
Okay.
would be basically just under their license.
Okay.
Event under their license. So
It really is it's a good plan.
it would be a great plan. Yes. So and they do a lot of catering from their kitchen, so it's actually it's perfect. So very thankful that they've taken that seriously and taken that on. So
Yeah.
that would be great.
They could still request a police, right, if they
They
felt
could, of course,
had
and
a
they
lot-
often do,
Yeah.
for some of their
For
bigger
those
events.
weddings.
Yeah.
Right, yes, during apple picking time, during a lot of the festivals, they often do call for a police detail anyway, so.
Yeah.
Imagine at night coming out of there is a little tricky.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
they're a good community neighbor.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of the last, we've got Merrimack's kind of squared away, and that was a big one that was occupying a lot of our time. And I think it's a much better practice now with them, and I think we may see the same thing with Smolak, so hopeful. So thank you for shepherding that in.
Thanks to Dawn Warren, our new clerk, she's the one who suggested it, and it's a great win for us, so.
There you go. Thank you, Don.
Mr. Chair, I'll move approval. Again, exactly as you read them.
All right,
Second.
thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. I'll hear a motion to move on to licensing.
I think
Oh,
it
no.
was more-
Did I miss one?
Just went back down. Aye, please.
Aye.
Oh, my goodness, I'm sorry. Jeez. Huh? Application from Tricia Dunphy of Smolak Farms for 5 one-day wine and malt liquor license from the 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the farm stand tent on August 14th, 15th, 2021, and for the Peach Festival and on September 4th, 5th, and 6th, 2021 for the Fall Festival. And again, we've got all the application in, everything is signed off.
Mr. Chair, I move that the Select Board, acting as licensing commissioner, approve the applications from Tricia Dunphy for Smolak Farms for 5 one-day malt wine and malt liquor licenses from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the farm stand tent on August 14th and 15th, 2021 for the Peach Festival, and on September 4th, 5th, and 6th, 2021 for the Fall Festival.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Jess. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now, I'll hear a motion to move out of licensing.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. That was a lot of licensing. That was a marathon. Lots of good stuff coming to town, right?
Awesome.
So our next will be the consent items, and we are accepting donations to Elder Services, and a request from Kathy Shelp, our Director of Elder Services, to surplus some property. A request from the Fire Chief John Ware to surplus property, and we are going to accept a donation in the amount of $2,000 from McDonald's to the Youth and Rec Services. So thank you to everybody for their donations. And I think Kathy's just trying to make some room, right?
She's just making room, it's just some tables and chairs and things that are ruined.
And the fire chief, it's just that sounded like a chair and a stretcher, right?
Yep.
So I will entertain a motion to accept the consent items.
I'd just like to read the names of the folks that are
Oh,
donating, just, this is kind of a public acknowledgement. Mary Lou Costello, Catherine Willis, Janet Palucci, Linda Parker, Florence Ma, and Ms. Lillian Novak Royal Revocable Trust. Thank you all for your donations to our seniors here, so much appreciated.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
I'll move that we accept the consent items.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, that passes. And the next item would be our approval of our minutes from our July 12th, 2021 meeting. And I will take a motion for that.
I'll move approval of the minutes from July 12th, 2021.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
All good?
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, so we do not have any old business, and we will move on to the town manager's report.
Sure, just a few quick things. I wanted to congratulate our finance director, Lynn Savage, on receiving, once again, I think this is like the 20th year in a row, our financial reporting award for excellence in financial reporting. So we're very proud of her, and she does a great job every year. Tomorrow, we are going to be doing some mosquito spraying as part of our partnership with the Northeast Massachusetts Mosquito Control and Wetlands Management District. So that spraying is going to start after 8 p.m. We did send an email out with the locations, but they range for all of our schools, most of our fields, as well as the Town Common, Patriot Memorial Field, the Stevens Estate, and the Brooks School. And so we're just asking people to avoid those locations after 8 p.m. on August 10th, as the barrier applications will be occurring shortly after that time. And unfortunately, I had to miss National Night Out, but as I was on vacation, but I understand it was a great night, and I just want to recognize our police department and Chief Gray, because I heard so much positive feedback from so many happy residents about it. So that's what I have.
It was a good night.
Good. Anybody? Selectmen updates?
There's some great concerts at the Common. Encourage everybody to make it to the last couple.
We've had a couple of hundred people every Sunday.
It's been
Amazing.
busy.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So, despite the rain.
Keep coming to the farmer's market?
Yes,
Right?
farmer's market, yeah.
We have some great new vendors throughout the year this year, so come try it out. It's interesting every week and a little bit different every week, so. I could also say, don't forget, the North Andover Merchants Association has launched their Shop NA gift cards, and you can purchase them online, and they're good at over 25 retailers in North Andover, and that grows every day. So as we head toward the beginning of the school year and people are looking for gifts, it's a great option and allows a lot of flexibility with where people spend it. So
Yeah, that's a great option. That's nice.
I have nothing.
No? No? All right. Then I will entertain, our next meeting is Monday, August 30th, which is our goals meeting, right? And that will be at the Stevens Estate. So we will reconvene then, and I will entertain 7 o'clock, right?
yes.
And I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned.
Second?
Second?
Yeah. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.